Hello, this is FG back with you for Ambinar. Today we are continuing on with our Austin Faust campaign. Alright, next thing we need to be doing is declaring war. We should probably upgrade these ships. Those can go right there. We are going to declare for that. Alright, and we also need to release, what's it called? Amgremos from Dayon. Alright, this is probably going to be the last thing we take. No more permanent buffs, so we'll just take the, what's it called? Liberty Desire reduction from our, for all of our vassals. And for them... Let me see if I could release that. How much would that cost? A lot. Duty. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Eventually. Those need marketplaces and shipyards. I assume that, yep, they have marketplaces. And they also need shipyards. Those the correct, yeah, those are the correct cities. Fortunate. More men for the army, growth of the port. Go to a trade advisor. Would I be willing to... I could do that. White piece them out. I'm just gonna put my ships right there so they can't go anywhere. I don't know, I think that may spawn a rebels, so I'm not gonna take that quite yet. We do have War Wizard. Let me do evocation, shock and awe. Alright, and for Amion, what if I go and siege down a bunch of their home provinces? Okay, that's not enough. That's fine. Good fight. Alright. Still not willing to get out. If I siege that down, perhaps... Was I developing any of these cities? Yes, I actually developed that one. It's been a day or two since I played, so I can't quite remember everything. Alright. That, the worst of the war, should actually be over. Right now, it's more a matter of just besieging provinces and... what's it called? Releasing the other Keonii. Right there, there. And this way. Dayon. Still not willing to release. That's fine. Hey, advisor cost is pretty good. Alright, that's good. We want to release them. And then we want to march this way. Good. Tech 9, Tech 10. Then we want to go ahead and vassalize them. They need to go back right there. Alright. They're willing to be vassalized. Give me the cash. Would they ever willingly be our vassals? No. Alright. And now, just like that, I can hit the new Kaons. Our unification efforts on Eltikan still continue. But many of the Keonii still live in the Nekis, on the mainland of Devon, where they have repelled the natives just as they tried to repel us. In order to prevent these colonies from committing the same mistakes as the city-states on Eltikan, we must bring their rule to an end while gaining a foothold on the unexplored lands. With this, we can potentially find new allies and bring the rest of the Keonii people into our fold. Alright, so let us gather the fleets. And then we want to probably disband all of these. Then we want to take the ships. These guys can protect trade in Amion, I suppose. So we can let's do that, and we can get Colverans. Alright. We also, unfortunately, do not have a colonist, which does kind of suck. That's fine, though. Hey, we're number 2 overall GP. As we have hired Kaonai advisors to serve our court, we gain much insight into the minds of an average citizen. By hosting festivals across the Kaons, we can show the people that we are not here to bring war or violence, but to balloon prosperity for every single person under the banner of Austin Foss. Grand banners of the boar flew across all major buildings of Kinamas as the colorful parade rode across its streets, highlighting the greatest works of both the Basiri and all the Kaons. The main square was decorated with many displays for the visitors across the entire kingdom to admire, with statues of Western gold acting as the spotlight for Fasiri storytelling about their kings and religion. The interchange of language and culture was ever so present among the attendees, learning each other's customs and broadening their previously short-sighted views. With such a huge success bringing every culture in our kingdom together, we come ever closer to true unity and a stable realm. Alright, we need more ships, so we can do 3 there. And the Cleave Sea is a great boon which connects both sides of our kingdom, providing us with a great way to traverse between it, and helping us transport resources to every city that requests them. As we expand our navy, we can hope to appease the cities of Ornam and Akateheon, which have an immemorial and great naval tradition that was suppressed in our conquests. As we need sailors to man the great trade vessels and warships, we are happy to expand their cities and bring our people together as the wind propels us both to new heights. The wealthy merchants of Okuteon and Ormam are the strongest across the known world. Wealthy as can be, they have amassed their riches into a strong upper class that is able to dictate the politics of its cities. Before, they were inconvincible, pushing us away at the mere sight of our faces. With a little bit of proof of our dedication to the merchants of both cities, it becomes clear that we have been working with the wrong way of diplomacy. By proving Otik Kaonai and Ormami merchant, by providing merchants with luxurious ports and markets to sell in, they have come around and opened their eyes to what it means to work with us, Fasiri. Prosperity is inbounded to our lands, and the riches from the coast have begun to flow inland. Alright, let me actually set my boys over here. That. And they can also suppress rebels. And with our religious unity down there, we will actually let the natives destroy that. How many colonies do we have? Just 1 now. That's fine. That can come off. Can come off. All of these can come off right now. Alright, so which cities still have the debuff? Just 2 of them? 3 of them. Fleet larger than 50. Get more caravels. I'll go ahead and take Get Tech 10. Get rid of some infantry. Let's combat with 26, 25. Skill 3 Inquisitor for half off. We will definitely take that. Seize that. Take that from them. Now that we have unleashed the shaman's power in the management of our country, the next step is to provide them with necessary tools to strengthen the power of magic in Austin Foss. This may come into conflict with important figures in our countries, but is worthwhile to risk for continuing our magical progression. Having a new court of advisors has provided Galanos I with knowledge of governance never known before. Being exposed to such ideas all at once has never proven to be a good thing, as it always takes away the focus and concentration it takes to be a good king. Galanos I calls his advisors and tells them, while he appreciates their services and dedication to him, he'd like to hear more of the administrative side of things. Amion is the only valid rival we have. I will go up to extra cannons. These guys can protect trade. And Amion. These guys can get an admiral. Come off. Alright, we should be a little bit over now. That's fine. Throw down religious unity edicts. Do they want House of Worship over here? Of course. Take that. Alright, we're looking good. We could theoretically afford a second army, but I would actually prefer to have the money so we can build up our realm a bit more. We take no. Yeah, we can. And here we can go with diplomatic ideas. Alright. Bracing the storm. The Tano Sea in the northeast has always plagued our lands with the death winds, but the city of Arpifider bears the most intense destruction. Constructing large defenses to improve the warding efforts is crucial to alleviate the lives of everyone surrounding the area. As we expand our navy, we carry a greater amount of resources to a barren region, supplying it with rations, stone, and magical materials for warding. The Grand Castle, which highlights the might of our unity against the supernatural devastation of the Kitano, will only show the Kaonai that we are worthy to rule all of Eltikan. The lonely city of Arpifider struggles to keep its ward strong against the death winds that come from the north. Being the first city to be bashed by the blue dust, it takes the brunt of the storm. They needed help before their city gave way to destruction. Thus, we Fasiri dedicated our time to constructing a great wall along the coast to protect the people of Arpifider from the storms. Allowing some leeway for its citizens, the city soon welcomed our Ray with open arms after all we had done for them. Alright, so that will allow us to do that. Stability of 3, army tradition of 40. Let's go flip back to this, or flip over to that, for the religious unity. Death of a Ray. The ray is dead. Alright, let's do that. And then we can do a new pilgrimage. Let's begin. I want admin. Let's do Powerful King Strength. Wisdom sounds like tech cost. Yeah. The end. Alright, so last we can do siege ability. And we also do need to go fight Amion. Do we have claims on anything they have? No. Build a spy network. And build a spy network. And we want to put ships right there. Conjuration, some of the familiars. Production. Taxation. Nice. Ooh, we have a great heir. Thank fucking God. Alright, so for this, we need area. Okay, yeah. Do they have any allies? Dayon. Shit, you know what I should do? I should build forts on the mainland. And I should also build a fort right. Oh, what am I doing? That's a way more important fort to build. We want to stay right there. Honestly, I'd like to not. How much is it to take? Okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking about things. I'm gonna see if I can vassalize them. Let's go up. Okay, we do want to take tech. Shoot. Okay, let's get extra cannons. Good thing we grabbed the cannons before that event happened. Go ahead and attack the natives. Nothing personal, we just need to not have them be against us. Oh, we can't co-belligerate Dayon. Well, that was pointless then. Sure. I'd like some Condottieri for free. Alright. And what what we'd actually like is basically the entire Metabara Valley, honestly. Okay, we did take that. We do need stability. Advisor cost reduction is always good. Let's do Siege Bound Dayon. For Dayon, honestly, I would just like them to no longer be in the war. K-Org. Let me help my fellow weird animal writing friend. Okay. I want to revoke the guarantee. Complete lost. Oh, we actually lost pretty badly. That's fine. We'll just get 4 Carracks. Additionally, we want to do Shock and Awe. So we can do some absolutely devastating damage to our enemies. Half of them need to just go right there, while these other half can stay in siege. Oh. They did their job. Alright. Let's get that. And for this, we need Army Tradition of 40. Currently have 35, so we do need to fight Amy on a bit. We do not have many combat vessels left, so we want to get a few more galleys. Alright. And then... I didn't start building that fort, so we're gonna have to do that. And then we want religious wars, obviously. Yeah, give me the 50 prestige. It's a lot of prestige. These guys can go back to port for the moment. You can bring those caravels over to join up. See, as their death comes. Alright. We're gonna have to keep this war going until we get the proper amount of, what's it called? Army tradition. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Or phrase, I guess. Put them in. Alright. Yeah, they're probably not going to be having a good time against that fleet. Cash. We can build that. That. Is there anything else we need to build? This needs a mage tower. That has a mage tower. 10 barracks. We can do that as well. New organization, excellent. Does that mean... We'll do skill 3 force limit. They getting attacked by someone? No, they're just hiding. They're cowards. Alright. With our kingdom expanding to every known reach of the world, we can be proud of the rulers that have brought us this far. United by religion and by the holy Rigodi, we can claim to be the one true Ray, one with insurmountable strength and knowledge, who is truly deserving of the last king's blessing. Oh, that gives us a parliament. Alright. Well, we obviously need to hand that one out. That one out. That one out. There. There. And then we can give it to a few more of our own provinces. And then one here. Kalen. Enion. Kawasaki. That one. I believe that's... Ooh, that's a good province, though. Skill 3 Inquisitor, Missionary Strength. Yep, yep. Sure. Yep, yep, yep. And Corruption. Alright. We will take the new Skill 3 Missionary, because he's a little younger. And we need more barracks. Yeah, that's fine. Alrighty. That does not even take us over the, what's it called? admin this time. Over the overextension cap, is what I meant. Alright. Like that. Get more cores done. Alright, there we are. And then we can detach our trade ships, and they can protect trade in Amiens. Of course, there is basically no good places to sit our soldiers. Oh, I can sit right there. Get rid of the cannons, though. And they can handle that. Alright. As we have ventured further into Devon, we have made contact with the natives of the region who similarly fight back against the Kaonai colonizers. In the Metabas Valley, there lies Metabahara, who fought against the Kaonai to protect their sacred valley. As contact increases between our people, we grew to know more about their beliefs and religion. Similarities were soon found out, and many soon considered the Metabaharans as cousins to the Fasiri. Let us invite the leaders of the Metahar to Rigodi on pilgrimage and open his eyes to the truth of our people. Oh, that's... never mind. Unless... oh, we'll see what happens. As Elisadas I begins to set off on his joint holy pilgrimage with the Medbahar leader to Rigodi, he relays some common customs to Adrahelos I that must be followed as they traveled. No outsider is allowed to journey atop the holy mountain of Rigodi, but the king believes the Medahar to be distant brothers of the Fasiri rather than outsiders, for he feels a close connection to their people. When both rulers reached the top, they kneeled and bathed in the golden-hued light the sky had shown as the sun began to set. I now understand why you brought me here, my friend, Adrahelos I said calmly. As Elisadas I heard this, he began to carve a white stone with his name, which he had brought down to the king's pillar, a monument built by the last true king himself. He placed it upon the steps leading towards it, and invited his Medahar kin to do the same. As they both returned down the mountain, Adrahelos exclaimed, "We are one and the same." Alright, so we want to do native coexistence. And we will colonize that to start off with, and then that, and then we want to go to the clergy and establish missions, Uno charters, pioneer initiatives. What do we need for this? Investments. Shit. It's gonna be a while before I get that done. In Lokemion lie the staunchest supporters of Kaonism and their belief of republicanism being the logical supreme form of government, one that has never failed them in the past. Yet, as our kings have proved time and time again with the grand campaigns of conquest and state building, they are chosen by our God themselves. Their efforts are not self-made. Through countless decades, in our new kingdom of the Ray has ushered in prosperity and brought many people under one government with no failure. The belief of the Kaonai that a bloodline of kings cannot achieve that of the elected rulers must be proven false to them directly, revealing their previous conceptualization on religion and the state to be flawed. Despite our recent attempts at showing our rule to be strong, which includes but is not limited to cleaning up the streets and slums of Lokemion, creating a strong, inclusive government under the king, fostering a prosperous age of peace and development not seen in Eltikan since ever, In providing local aristocrats and philosophers with hefty sums of gold, our rule has still been challenged, and not by the fringes, but by the majority of high class in Lokemion. It proves upsetting to hear that the average philosopher ranting on and on about the most minute of details of what it means to be a good leader when we have done more than they could ever talk about. It's as if their only purpose was to argue, and that it was nothing but a waste of life. We question why anyone would ever devote their precious piece of existence to this before returning to the last true king. At that point, they should be cast out from the beyond. While we have nothing against the average elf of Lokemion, these philosophers have proven to be equivalent to cockroaches, contemptible leeches to our desired society that just refuses to go away, and they don't create any value to begin with. Thus, we entered the city at night, corralled these so-called thinkers who opposed our rule by word, cut their heads open, and let them stand out in the field miles away from home to await the next arrival of the death winds. If they were smart, they would have realized they were right straight from the get-go. That we were right straight from the get-go. Or maybe speaking out and riling the masses would have consequences. Either way, the people of Lokemion will no longer be limited by their intolerance. Alright. And reach. We desire less than 10%. Right. Let's go ahead and build some of these forts. How are we doing conversion-wise? We're getting through to them. Alright, but we are currently at 42 minutes, so we're a little bit over time. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and have a great day.